Hello, everybody. Wishing you all a very happy Canada Day and end of the course here. We're in the last week. I'm a little bit late this week as yesterday was a holiday and I was hosting a great big barbecue, which was a real blast and weather was cooperative, so that was fun. Um, Hope you had a great time as well. Canada Day is always a nice one as it's kind of in the middle of summer. It's a great chance for us to celebrate our country and all the freedoms and happiness that we enjoy here. Um, this video is going to be a little bit different. I think it can be a little bit longer. I'm going to take some time to address some questions which I received over email over the weekend. The ladies who have emailed me have graciously agreed to have the question answered over video, which means that everybody gets to benefit from a little bit of insight. I warned you that assignment 3 is the toughest of the bunch. You got a little bit of break last module, where you weren't required to really do very much, just find the news story and reflect on it. I haven't looked at that yet. It hasn't been that long since I marked assignment 2, but I've been a little bit busy with the sole proprietor tax filing deadline that was on June 15th, and now it's the December 31st corporate year end deadline today. So that kind of been my priority lately. But still, I've been keeping up with the marking and everything looks good. So let's jump into assignment number 3 and the questions that I've received. I just want to remind you again that there is some leniency if you're kind of in a tough spot with getting things done on time, especially this last assignment. Please do let me know. We can always submit later. I'd also like to say that it's very easy to get worried about marks. It's not really worth that much in the big scheme of things. All of your grades are pretty good for the most part. And I don't mark the numbers too harshly. I'm more looking for your answers to questions and so on and so forth. Logical thinking. Those are more my priority when I mark. So you'll get a chance to explain your thinking and so on. If your numbers are a little bit off, it's not really a big deal to me. But with that said, let's go into some of the questions I've received about assignment 3. And we can go into more details in our office hours on Thursday evening. So those will be our final office hours. It's the final week, but yeah, you're free to come over there and ask your questions as well. So the first question we had was, when does the GIC mature? Right? This is something you have to work through yourself, right? It kind of tells you when it starts, and it tells you the term of the GIC, right? So November 1st, 202X is when it starts, and it's a 6-month GIC. So you simply add 6 months to November 1st. So that will give you the answer of April. So that's the answer to number 1. The GIC matures in April, at the start of April. Next question we had, instruction mentioned the income statement will include only prorated interest for 22Y for GIC. Am I correct to assume the full term was 6 months, or only including 4 months on the income statement and the same 4 months on the cash flow? So yeah, it's a 6-month GIC. So in the 202Y year, right, it will only include the 4 months for that year. For the prior year, it will include 2 months. And the way you calculate it is, of course, if you follow the instructions on the previous page of the module. I think in the last page of the module, it shows how simple interest is calculated, right? So you're going 2 over 12, you're prorating it in the case of 202x times the annual interest rate and then times the value of the GIC, right? So always prorate months over year. So whatever it is, 2 over 12, 4 over 12, times the annual interest rate times the big number, right? The principal amount of the GIC. So that's how that is done. Hopefully that makes sense. Do we put the principal, the negative on cash flow and interest earned at positive values in cash flow? Yeah, very good question. As you repay principal, that's a negative cash flow. As you pay interest, that's also a negative cash flow. If you collect interest, right, or if you raise funds, right, by selling bonds and such, then it can be positive cash flow. So really have to look at where the cash flow is going. Oh yeah, one more thing I meant to mention on the previous point. Cash flow statement, it will not include the interest on the GIC because it's paid in one big lump sum at the very end. So that's the only cash flow at the very end. Renovation connected to the insurance claim, I included them under insurance on cash flow. Is that correct? It really depends on what you're spending the money on, right? In this case, you're spending on renovations, so it should be under repairs and maintenance, right? Those where renovations go. So figure out the number that you need. It's monthly expenses, and you put each one as a negative cash flow, right? So you claim the money that's in the past. You don't have to worry about it. And then as you spend the money, you record it as a negative cash flow in the repairs and maintenance row. So that was the first set of questions. We have another question here. Stockholder equity. Multiplying the number of stock by the value to input that amount in the balance sheet. Okay, so there are two different things here. One is, right, to record on the balance sheet the value of your equity. You're just looking at what the number of stocks were and how much they were sold for originally. That's the value of equity on the balance sheet. When you're looking at dividends, you're looking at exactly what dividend are promised to the shareholders. Take that dividend amount, multiply by the number of shares. And that one will go in the cash flow statement, right? It's a cash outflow. So when you pay the dividend, you put in negative cash flow. As I was answering that question, I remembered there's one more issue. It's to do with one of the self-reflections, question number 4 in module 8. There's an error there, right? Where it says $625, the solution for number 4. That's wrong. I feel like I've asked for it to be corrected a while ago, but maybe it just got missed. The correct answer should be 14.45. What you do is you take that 2.89% annual rate, and I kind of forget the detail, but you do the prorated months again, 3 over 12. I think it was a 90-day, right? You do 3 over 12, and I believe the 2,000 was the amount. So 2,000 times 3 over 12 times 2.89% should give you 14.45. I've requested that to be corrected, so bear with me. But I think I'm going to stop here. It's already been almost a 10-minute video. We can address more issues in office hours, but I'll remind you again that please don't worry too much. A small mistake here or there is not going to kill you. I mark this pretty leniently. I just kind of glance over the numbers, make sure they're okay, and I might remove a mark or two if there's some inaccuracies. Main thing, I'm looking for completion and good rationale on the written portion. So try not to worry about it too much. And if you find that you need more time, you know what to do. Just ask me, and I'll most likely be able to grant you a little bit more time. And I should have the marks for that Module 7 reflection. I should have them to you later this week. So hopefully over the weekend I can get that done. In the meantime, I have some more urgent tasks to take care of, but I'm sure you did all okay. You can assume you got 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4, so it shouldn't really bring down your mark very much, if at all. All right, we've now reached the 10-minute mark, so I'll stop there. I'll see you on Thursday.